may not be Floyd's world championship. He's been there so many times. But this is John's world championship.
I like
this
that.
This is it. This is all he thinks about. He eats, sleeps, this.
Are you surprised that there's no smack talking with Mayweather this time around? That he's giving him so much respect?
Growing up, how John dealt with my incarceration and my being away. Floyd Mayweather was his hero. So when Floyd Mayweather would fight, all the kids on his football team, all the kids in school would be invited to my house. My wife would put it on the big screen. And it was a really festive occasion in my house. John went on to do a report on Floyd Mayweather as one of his heroes, and he did a collage on Floyd Mayweather. Now imagine this. Imagine this. 22 years ago, to do a report on Floyd Mayweather, to do a collage on Floyd Mayweather, and to be sitting here today, and now you're in a press conference and you're about to fight Floyd Mayweather.
That's amazing.
How amazing is that? How spectacular? How surreal?
Were you and your father boxing fans? I mean, did you
Tremendous,
look around and
tremendous
watch?
boxing fans. And when my dad was a free man, he was home. There was no UFC. So boxing was it. Combat sports were boxing. That's what it was. So whenever any of the great fighters, one of my father's favorite fighters was Julio Cesar Chavez.
Wow.
One of my father's favorite fighters. So when Chavez fought, our whole social club stopped. We watched. Always. When any of the great Italian fighters, Vito Montefermo, when he fought, we all stopped and watched. When Vinny Pazienza would fight, we would stop and we would watch. So we would watch all the events, but there were certain select fighters that my father adored and loved. He loved their heart and their drive, that he would demand that we stop and watch.
Now, you as a father, man, you always got to look out for your son. How much punishment are you willing to let your son take in case things don't go his way?
It's a great question, and we had a long conversation about that. My son and I had a long conversation, and in the conversation I said, John, you know who you're fighting and you know what to expect. He says, yes, Dad, I get it. I said, when you make a declaration like you did last fight, kill or be killed, your grandfather made that statement, he meant it. He made it in a statement where he talked about the United States government. When the government goes to war with me, meaning my father saying John Gotti, I raise the black flag. I ask for no quarter and I give no quarter. That's the way it is, kill or be killed. You uttered those words. You didn't follow through on those words. It's got to mean something. If you're going to walk in that ring, then you got to leave it all there. Even if it means you going down or he goes down one way or the other.
So you willing to go all the way?
He has no choice. He chose. It's a profession he chose. I didn't choose this for my son. I don't want him to do this. I would have much rather he become a lawyer, a doctor, something else. I don't care, truck driver, anything else.
But a box.
Every time my son walks into the ring, it's like I'm waiting for a jury to come back with a verdict on my life. He is my life. He's the love of my life. And every time my heart is in my throat.
And what about the other family, the other brothers? Are they 100% behind him?
Yeah. They're here. Women will get mad about what I'm going to say next, but the women in our family are not allowed to attend the fights.
Oh.
They can go, they do their own little watch party. They'll go to my house or they'll go to my daughter's house and they'll have a watch party maybe, if you want to call it a party. But we travel as men, we travel as a unit, we're going to war. We're not having fun, we're not going out to dinners, we're not going out for drinks. When we hit Mexico, when we arrive in Mexico on the 14th, we go with a mentality of war. We're not going to have a drink. I won't be having any Johnny Walker. I won't be doing anything like that. We'll be training, we'll be moving forward, boots on the ground until our job is done. And when the job is concluded, good, bad, or indifferent, then we'll have that cocktail.
And let's say that he does win, what's next?
Sorry?
If John wins, what's next for John then? You going to continue it?
On to the next one. If John wins...
Anybody in the radar?
You said if John wins, I say John will win. And I tell you this, he'll be on to the next event. Maybe Floyd again.
Trilogy.
Maybe somebody else. Who knows?
John.
Because I watched this kid grow as a man. And what I was alluding to when I made a statement earlier about the Henry Mills fight, his very first amateur MMA fight, is he could have very easily been knocked out in the second round. Let's remember now, John was a bodybuilder before that. He made a transformation over to MMA. He was only doing it for 3 months. Went in with this very talented, one of the top prospect kickboxers in Long Island, who beat his trainer only several months earlier. Knocked him out in 37 seconds, mind you. Now he's fighting this guy. I had no idea. This is behind my back. He's fighting this guy, and in the second round, if you watch that fight, he's gassed. He's against the ropes, against the cage, and Henry's coming in, and those big long legs that can kick from here to Brooklyn were about to hit him in the head. He was going to kick him in the head and finish John off. And his cousins and his brothers are behind him, and they're screaming, "Come on, John! Come on, John! Come on!" And all of a sudden, he wakes up, and he comes with a flurry, and the mouthpiece flies out of Mills's mouth. He turns the fight around, and John's now advancing. He's advancing for that last minute of that round and the whole third round, the final round. John's now got him on the retreat. He's advancing and pummeling him, and he wins the fight. Now, that heart that he showed me, with no experience, he wasn't conditioned, never had a fight before. He's a St. Anthony's football player. Jerry knows about that. St. Anthony's football player, okay? No conditioning, no experience in fighting. He didn't quit, he would not lay down. He took his punishment, he turned it around, and moved it and won the fight. I said, this kid's got it in him. I just only hope and pray he doesn't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Hey, John, so listen, so your son gave too much distance away to Floyd Mayweather the first time. Is that one of the things he's been working on to keep the pressure close to him so Floyd Mayweather can't get off on him?
Yes, he's been closing that gap with his sparring partners.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy. Floyd, listen, people could say Floyd's 47 years old. I tell my son all the time, I says, you see Floyd Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather at 36 years old, 26 years old. Floyd is a mathematician. That's what he is. He's a genius in the ring. He's a mathematician. He watches your feet, he watches your hands, he watches your shoulders, he watches every move and every posture. He knows exactly what you're going to throw next and how you're going to position yourself. So to close that gap between a great like Floyd Mayweather, probably the greatest. And I'm not saying the greatest boxer of all time, I'm saying he's the greatest tactician that I've ever seen. And I've been a buff. I've been watching this, I'm 60 years old, since I'm 6, 7 years old. I've never seen anybody figure out opponents like Floyd can figure them out. He's a genius in the ring, and he's figured them all out. So for John to close that gap, we brought in some very talented, skilled smaller boxers, lighter boxers, elusive boxers, that their job was to move away.
John, did the body shots hurt him, your son? Can he take that away from Floyd Mayweather by cutting that distance down to take away the sting of those body shots that he took all the whole
Floyd
fight?
throwing on John or John throwing on Floyd?
No, Floyd threw on John. A lot of body shots.
A lot of body shots. But you know what? Not one of them phased him. What did hurt John is John went into that fight with a broken nose. He broke it 3 weeks before the fight.
Wow.
Floyd got one through. And when he hit John, he did rattle him with that shot. And John went on that posture, his posture moving forward. And the plan moving into that fight, Jerry, was that he said that every fight, he watched the McGregor fight ad nauseam 1,000 times. And Floyd could have knocked out Conor probably anytime he wanted to. It just, his poise, and you as a professional boxer, you're one of the greats, you observe things and you see things and you say, he's playing with him. He knows he's just going to figure him out. He's going to look for a comfortable spot and he's going to leave.
He came to fight your guy. He fought from the beginning.
And we when watching the McGregor fight though, we said it. And he knocked him out in the 10th round. And after the 6th, Floyd said, okay, now it's time to start fighting. He took and exhausted McGregor. So John, watching that fight ad nauseam too often, too many times, said, Dad, for the first 2 rounds, he's much smaller than me, he can't hurt me. I'm going to take whatever he can bring, and then I'm going to turn it on him. Just I'm going to conserve my energy and move forward. And I'm saying, John, if you're able to withstand the punishment, then it's not a bad, tactic to employ. However, I'm not quite sure if you want to do it with this guy. You're much bigger.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
I want you to go. I want him to go right after. And John says, "No, I got this figured out. I got it done."
Are you going to be in the corner?
And that's why, no, I never. In fact, I wasn't even going to be up here.
Did a great job.
If Floyd's trainer was here, I was going to sit. I was going to have Derek Panzer up here, but his manager came in, so I wanted to leave my son. I wanted him to have my son be by himself.
John, you're not worried that if you beat
Pleasure, Jerry. Always to see you. Pleasure, always to see you.
John, aren't you worried that if you beat Mayweather, then they're gonna say, "Oh, he just beat a washed-up 36-year-old"?
Floyd Mayweather could never be washed up. Floyd went to great pains. Every time I speak to James McNear, and I'm close to James McNear, Floyd's training. He's always training. He's always training. He trains at 6 in the morning. He trains at midnight. We did Zoom calls. I hear in the background. I said, James, where are you now? He says, I'm in Vegas. You're in Vegas. Okay. I says, can I ask you a question? I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning here in New York. You're 3 hours behind us. Yeah. So I hear, what are you in the gym? He goes, yeah, look, you'll turn it and you see Floyd in the ring. Now, Floyd's in the ring at 11 o'clock at night. That guy's always training. He's a die-hard boxer. It's in his heart. It keeps his blood pumping. It keeps him moving forward. He's never not in condition. And he did. And what I said was accurate. You do the CompuBox on the first fight. In 2 minutes of any first round of any fight Floyd Mayweather has ever fought in his life, he never threw more punches than he threw against my son John.
Thanks a lot for
and that
your
shows
courtesy.
he still has it.
We got to run, man. Be safe, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.